We are less than 24 hours from Election Day. President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will continue to make their final appeals to voters in campaign appearances today. Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan has interviewed both candidates, and she joins us now. Good morning to you, Margaret Brennan.
Good morning to you, Gail.
So, you know, both candidates, I know you're on calls with both campaigns last week, and they're both say they feel very confident. I don't expect any candidate to say, you know, it's not looking good for us, I'm very worried.
Right.
But does any candidate, in your opinion, have reason to feel more confident than the others we stand here today, 24 hours out?
Well, the Democrats can look at those banked votes, that early vote, and feel good about the edge they have in certain states. But as the head of the Republican Party, Ronna McDaniel, told me on Face the Nation yesterday, she feels that because they have sent staff door to door in key states asking Republicans, hey, why haven't you voted yet? They believe there is a surge that we haven't seen yet that will show up in person tomorrow. And if you look at states like Florida and Texas, Republicans who are showing up to vote early have chipped away at some of the Democratic lead in those states. But President Trump is really going to be very heavily dependent on his supporters showing up in large numbers tomorrow. And Joe Biden is going to be heavily dependent on those votes that are still out there, particularly young voters that the Biden campaign is betting on.
Yeah, Margaret, the president's closing message appears to be a return to normal, a return to a time before the coronavirus. And yet, as he makes that pitch to voters in 13 battleground states, cases of the virus are surging. How do those two facts intersect and affect Election Day?
Surging 45% over the past 2 weeks in those 13 battleground states. I mean, at a certain point, Tony, you ask, how long will the president's supporters allow him to deny the facts in their own communities of spiking infection rates and hospitalization rates? But to this point, and many of the president's supporters that I've spoken to when we do these voter focus groups tell us, look, it could have been worse, and he's doing the best he can. There's an acceptance somehow. But as this gets worse heading into the winter, you wonder when the facts will overcome the politics. Certainly for the Biden campaign, they believe that their strongest message is to remind the public that the president didn't protect the American people against a pandemic that has killed more than 200,000 people. For the Trump campaign, they continue to argue, don't believe the headlines. Even though in states like Wisconsin, which are going to be so key for the president, that spiking infection rate could have an impact, even on turnout tomorrow, as the governor really warns people it's dangerous to go out.
I know. Let's hit on that don't believe the headlines thing for just a second, Margaret, because now President Trump is saying that, speculating out loud, that he may fire Anthony Fauci after the election. This is after a campaign stop where people were screaming in the crowd, fire Fauci, fire Fauci. The president seems to be stoking that. Fauci has made it very clear that this is a very dangerous time. He's telling us all, be careful with your Thanksgiving plans. What do you make of that?
Well, at a certain point, it becomes troubling to hear,
yes.
Deeply troubling to hear Dr. Fauci himself say in that interview he gave to the Washington Post, the bit that really struck me was when he flat out said that the president won't listen to his briefings or Dr. Birx anymore because it doesn't fit the political message. So you have the nation's top epidemiologist saying the political folks don't want to listen to the science and the facts. And so for a doctor who says he has no political agenda, that is obviously a warning to those out there that they are at greater risk than what they are being told. So the bottom line here, and Dr. Gottlieb said this to us on Face the Nation yesterday, at a certain point, the facts are going to overcome the politics. The question is when. He's saying it's going to be after the election in that Thanksgiving period. Then it is really going to hit us hard, and it's going to become undeniable that we are not around the curve. In fact, it's coming at us hard.
And that's why, Margaret Brennan, people are feeling so stressed. Thank you very much.